In this module, we'll cover being on call and personal responsibilities. We'll walk through a typical incident and what that looks like for a responder who becomes the incident controller. Then we'll walk through incident response plans, processes, and how you fit into them as the incident controller, as a responder, or as a subject matter expert. Meeting response targets for your organization requires some personal responsibility. We'd like you to be ready to acknowledge an alert within about 5 minutes. This means your mobile device is nearby, your ringtone set that you can hear it and acknowledge the alert before it escalates to your team. After you've acknowledged the alert, we'd like you to be ready to action the alert within about 30 minutes. This means retrieving your laptop, getting it booted up and set up into your environment, and being able to take action on the service you're on call for. When you're unavailable, communicate your unavailability to your team members. This might be while you're on transit between locations, might be during dinner, might be during a family event or an appointment. You can schedule those in advance with your team, or you can hand off to your backup or another team member, or let them know in channel so that the expectation is set ahead of time that you'll be delayed in responding. On-call shifts during business hours often have periodic monitoring or tasks that come with them. Things like every hour checking on dashboards, looking at a triage queue or inbound support, even sometimes just checking email to make sure that you haven't missed an escalation from a team member outside of your own team. Don't hesitate to declare an incident, and don't hesitate to escalate to a team member. You're not alone when you're on call. Your team member's here to support you. Successfully meeting response targets does require some preparation. Having your mobile and laptop charged allows you to take action during the beginning of the incident without having to search for power or try and recharge a device that's drained. Checking that your internet and VPN are connected are important so that you actually can respond and take action during an incident. And then preparing your own environment, getting current versions of runbooks and making sure you have up-to-date versions of the services and the code bases that you'll need to take action on during your on-call shift. Also, current dependencies, downloading those ahead of time from your desktop or from a better location rather than over a mobile connection. Credentials to your system, to your observability dashboards, to your control plane, and to your actual application are important to have in advance. Also have credentials to third-party systems that you might need. Data stores, queues, outsourced systems that you use, automation, things like that. They're important to have during on-call so that you're not hunting down someone with keys during the middle of an incident. Incidents typically begin and end locally, with a single incident responder receiving an alert, actioning it, and closing it off. Primary on-call often looks a little like this. You receive an alert or an escalation from a team member. You acknowledge to the team that it's being worked on, assess the priority, choose whether to act now or defer to the next working hours. Then you mitigate because you're the expert on the system, and you communicate the resolution to your team. You've done all the parts of incident response, and that was an incident, but it didn't have anyone else involved. You were the controller and the responder, and it means that the impact was low enough that you believed that you could take care of it on your own. You didn't need additional communication. It was probably something that was a near miss or was headed to become a problem, but didn't actually impact customers. Now, typical for your business is not typical for all businesses. So tailor these guidelines to your own business, your own customers, your own service and system and team needs. There are instances where multiple levels of the organization or external partners are involved, and we need to scale up the incident response team from just yourself. Reviews of alerts, escalations, and lessons learned are important feedback mechanisms that an incident response process can capture. The first person to detect an incident assumes the role of the incident controller. Whether you knew it or not, you are the incident controller. Oftentimes, as a first responder, we get heads down into a problem, we get focused on it, and we forget that we need to communicate with our team. So raise an extra incident controller if you need to. Escalate to your team and bring them in. We rely on your professional judgment and your experience, so make a decision. Make a decision and follow through on it. If it's an incident, declare it. If it's not an incident, close off the alert, document it, and follow up with it during your next business day. Make the best decision you can with the information that you have at the moment. During incident analysis afterwards, we can look at what information you had at the time, and so next time we can give you better information. Remember, these processes are guidelines, so if you feel a decision or course of action is necessary, then take it. Failures happen. People make mistakes and we learn from them. That's the importance of this, is we want to learn from each incident so that we make the organization better, so that next time we get better outcomes. We have a retrospective after recovery, and that's where we can learn with the organization so that our practices improve. Record the decisions made during an incident. It's not the time to contend over priority decisions, whether it's severe or not severe, the impact to customers. Follow what the incident controller says, move on, and during the incident analysis afterwards, we can look at why they made the decision, and then we can come to a better decision for next time. Where do incidents come from? Well, if we knew that, we wouldn't need to be on call. But since we do need to be on call, they generally arrive from automated monitoring or from escalation from your peers. Our automated monitoring hopefully tells us, are our workloads succeeding? Are we meeting our customer expectations? Or did we exceed some automated scaling points that caused an automation message to come to the on-call person to say, hey, I need to scale a little bit larger? When it comes from human escalation, it often comes from customer reports or a team member who detected an issue. When we do detect an issue, that's when we start the incident response process. Are you on call for your product? But when you're paged for an incident, you don't know what to do next. Do you want to level up your team's incident response practice? There's a free incident response checklist and preview lesson linked in the description below. I'm Chris, and I'm here to help.